Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Oluwatobi Oshobukola Abubu. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a mother to 2 young children. One of my children, my son, is autistic. And I'm currently at the Harvard University studying for my PhD. Toby studied French, and so Toby also speaks French. I love languages, and my mom was a caterer, so growing up, I spent about 10-15 years of my life with her in her restaurant every day after school, learning from her. But I never imagined that I was going to be a caterer. Because I love languages, they encouraged me to learn languages, to develop learning French. And so, in fact, they always believed I might be a bilingual secretary. So it's been quite a surprise for me, seeing that those things I had learned from her, those skills, and just loving to cook, is actually what I'm using now to actually start a business.
How does that relate? Like you said that you have a career. What would make you decide to go through the food industry?
So I actually came into the United States. My career brought me to the United States, and I worked with the embassy for a while. But because of my son, so when I had my son here, and when I got the diagnosis for my son, that changed everything for me, because he needed support, he needed help, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to get that in Nigeria. And so staying back also made me an immigrant that also had to go through the process as well, like everyone else, trying to be regularized. And while I was trying to find support for him, my neighbors were helping me. And I would pay them back by cooking for them and by giving them food, because a lot of them didn't cook. And so they loved the food. They would always come back to me with, good reviews and tell me, oh, this is delicious. And then one of them introduced me to her office just before COVID started and told them, oh, I cooked and that the food was really good, and she wanted them to see if I could cater for them at her office. Unfortunately, a month after we started that process and I was trying to get everything all sorted out, COVID hit. And so I couldn't continue that. But then other people I knew who were catering came to me. Because of COVID, they needed to find a way to still continue their business. And so I tried to help them get them properly established, and then get them online, let them have an online presence. So while I was helping them, I was also going to the organizations and asking for help. And then they talked to me. I met Mr. Francisco in LDC, and then he told me about the Food Business Venture Initiative. And then I said, oh, but why don't you try and be a part of this? And then I told them my ideas. Like then I had an idea to start a Nigerian restaurant, because I knew that there was a gap in the fact that when Nigerian officials come here for meetings, it's very hard for them to find a place where they can get Nigerian dishes, authentic Nigerian dishes. And so I was thinking of starting that. So he came to me and said, oh, why don't you be a part of this Food Business Venture Initiative? But you cannot start a restaurant now because it's too much. The initiative will not allow you. But if you have simpler food, you can start with that. And I knew, yes, I had simpler food I made for my neighbors. So I said, yes, I would love to join the initiative. And I am really grateful for that, because that initiative is what helped me finalize the concept of the business. It helped me understand the path that I needed to take to have everything regularized, to be officially licensed. It also introduced me to the world of commercial ingredients. So through the meetings that we had with people who were already in that industry, I then began to think, oh, we can have Nigerian foods on shelves in stores, or Nigerian influence, or foods are influenced by Nigerian products on the shelves. And so I got to have that idea, and I continued with that program. And thankfully for that program, I'm an officially licensed catering business. And now I'm looking into having some of my products into the stores as commercially packaged goods.
Tell us a little bit more about Fritters and Roasters. Like, describe what is this Fritters and Roasters concept.
So Fritters and Roast is a business that is inspired by Nigerian foods. We do Nigerian finger foods. We have just started as well with a drink, which is the hibiscus drink. These are foods that normally in Nigeria, they're street foods, but they are very delicious. They're healthy, minimally processed, simple to make. And these are foods that I make with my son. I don't have a lot of time and I want him to eat something healthy. And so I quickly make them and I can pack them with me wherever I'm going and he can have them. So Fritters and Roast is making these foods, but is making it more accessible to people. Usually as Nigerians, if you want to have access to this food, you have to go through a caterer and you can only usually order in large quantities. So for Fritters and Roast, what we're doing is we're having them in small, sizable individual packages that people can buy. So we have our small box. We have a small $6 box and we have a big $15 box, and you can have a combination of items in them. Usually you would have to order a pan or half a pan with a caterer, a Nigerian caterer normally. But for Fritters and Roast, you can order a portion size, you can order 3 portion sizes and have that, delivered to you. And so for Fritters and Roast, our goal is to make Nigerian foods more accessible, let people have access to these delicious, healthy foods, and also, just promote, help mothers and promote healthy living.
The connection, you mentioned before that growing up, your mother was a caterer and back there in Nigeria. So when you were growing up, what were you thinking to be when you were an adult?
So when I was growing up, because I love languages, because I love to speak French, I also studied Yoruba in school, which normally people speak Yoruba back home, but they never study it. But I studied that in what we call secondary school, which is like the high school, middle school, and high school in Nigeria. And so the idea was, I would be a bilingual secretary. But I studied French, and after that I was retained by the university for a while, and then after that I was sponsored for my master's. I was given a scholarship, and so from there I moved then into administration, and so I was working with my French. So and then now while I was here trying to sort myself out and go to school and take care of my son, I also needed to have an income, and so now this has become my business.
So what lessons has this business life taught you?
It's taught me, one, to never give up. It's taught me to, not give in and never give up. Many times I'm like, maybe this is not gonna work, and I almost give up. But then something happens, which then gives me hope again. I'm like, it's actually working. Also, it's taught me to be a little bit more patient and to be flexible. So some of my initial ideas when I started the business, I've had to, so I also wanted to do roasted yams and all of that, but I found that it didn't work because the environment is different, the way of preparation is different. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to and the way that it would be appreciated. So I've also learned to be flexible and shed the ideas, change the ideas when I need to.
Do you have any favorite stories from your business?
Yes, I do. I think what I remember is, it actually concerns my son. So I got this opportunity to sell at the Kankoran Dance Company after their dance lessons. And I went there, the first time I went there with my son. And I was so surprised. He was the one who was going to everyone and said, come and buy my mom's finger foods, come and buy my mom's finger foods. They are so delicious. And this is someone we're trying to help to be social, to learn social skills. But because he wanted me to be successful, he was willing to go to people and talk to them. Of course, he overdid it. And so we had to teach him how to do it properly. That he would go to them, he would grab and say, come and see my mom's finger foods. Come and buy my mom's finger foods. And so, so that's something I always remember. And, you know, I'm grateful for those memories.
Okay, and now what do you think the future holds for Fritters and Roast?
I believe the future is bright for Fritters and Roast. I see two aspects to the business. I see the catering side, and I see Fritters and Roast launching into the commercially packaged goods world. With the catering, you know, I can reach people and have more access to people. And with commercially packaged goods, I can have access to stores that normally people, which gives, you know, greater reach and greater access. So I believe that with these two aspects for the business, the future is bright.
What would you like for Nigerians to say about Fritters and Roast?
I would like for them to be proud that it's a Nigerian company owned by a Nigerian and successful outside Nigeria. I think for me that will be the valuable story that I would want people to say about Fritters and Roast when they talk about it.
Can you name some of the dishes or things that we can get at Fritters and Roast?
So Fritters and Roast has a combination of about 6 products, including our drink. We have the bean cake, which is made from beans, the Nigerian beans. We have the banana fritters. We have the tomato and the onion sauce. We have the roasted plantains. And then we also have the hibiscus drink. We have the fried yams as well. The fried yams are the Nigerian yams, so they're not the typical potatoes, sweet potatoes that they call yam, the yuca, no. It's a Nigerian tuber, which is quite long. And they taste delicious, of course, but they have a very unique taste. Then the hibiscus drink is something that we used to drink a lot growing up. It's made from hibiscus, lemon, pineapple, and ginger, and some cane sugar. So those are the products of Fritters and Roast. So for now, you can get Fritters and Roast products by going online, www.frittersandroast.com, and you can order. Right now, we are doing pickups, but we're also about to get into a partnership with DoorDash, so that people can have it delivered to them. Once we also launch, because Fritters and Roast is also in the Union Kitchen Accelerator program. Once we also launch our products there, then you can find them in Union Kitchen stores, and also there will be other stores that we'll be looking into having access to as well.
In your journey, have you had family, people, or other organizations that have helped you to start your business?
Oh yes, I've had my neighbors, all the neighbors who first encouraged me to start the food business. Every single one of them helped me. I had someone help me define the marketing aspect of it, and then introduce me to the people who designed the T-shirt and the labels. I had another neighbor who designed my logo. She was a graphic designer. That was her job officially, but she did it for me. I had someone else help me with designing my menu. And so I've had my neighbors all help me. I've also had help from LEDC. That was of such great value for me, because that's what led to Fritters and Roast being Fritters and Roast today. So the help from LEDC was invaluable. I'm also now having help from Union Kitchen. I'm part of the Union Kitchen Accelerator program, and the wealth of experience that they have in the world of commercially packaged goods has been so beneficial to helping me define how I can move forward in that aspect. So I've had a lot of help.